And greetings, my friends, patriots, lovers of democracy, truth, and justice, believers in peace, freedom, and the American way. Thom Hartmann here with you. And I'm looking at this interactive graphic here on the New York Times. Pay at the Top, it's titled. And here is Motorola President Sanjay Jha. He's earning $104 million. Let's see, that's about $1 million. There's 220, 240 working days in a year. So that's about $500,000 a day. What could anybody possibly do? What unique qualification could any human being possibly have that would justify paying them $500,000 a day? You know, say they work a 10-hour day, that's $50,000 an hour. I don't get it. We really need to roll back the Reagan tax cuts. We had this nice, stable period in the United States from the 1940s through the 1980s, where the economy was stable. You know, we weren't rip-roaring, but we weren't crashing either. And we had a top tax rate of 91%. And, well, Kennedy dropped it. Actually, it wasn't Kennedy. It was LBJ. Dropped it down to 74%, as I recall. But still, it was over 50%. And as a result, CEOs were making 20, 30 times, in some cases 40 times what the janitor made, the lowest paid employee. And things were just fine. And people say, well, you can't find good people for less than $100 million a year. Well, how'd they find them in the 1980s? How'd they find them in the 1970s? How'd they find them in the 1960s? How is it that the heads of some of the largest corporations in the world based in Europe are only making 30, 40 times what their employees are making? I don't get it. But a larger issue here. Russell Mokaber is with us. He's with Corporate Crime Reporter. Russell, I'm sorry, the window doesn't contain the entire thing here.
Well, I have to.
Reporter.com.
I have wear two hats. I'm the editor of Corporate Crime Reporter. That's my day job. But I'm also founder of SinglePayerAction.org, which with a group of friends, we've started this new nonprofit to push for single payer in the United States. And we have on our website a link to a video that you did, I guess it was while you were on your show, promoting single payer.
Oh, great.
I commend people to.
Well, thank you. Thank you. As you know, then, I'm a big advocate of single-payer healthcare systems, whether they're done at a national level or whether, as Bernie Sanders has suggested, they be done at the state level with federal support, sort of like education is in the United States. In either case, I think that the grounding assumption has to be healthcare is a right, not a privilege. We did it with education almost a century ago. We should have, you know, and the reason, frankly, I think why we didn't do it with healthcare at that time, although who was the president after Franklin Roosevelt? Harry Truman in 1947 tried to get it through, but couldn't. But in any case, I'm a big advocate of this. But I'm fascinated. You wrote a story about a story that T.R. Reid did for public television, and I thought this was fascinating. Tell us the story.
Well, yes, and the title of the article is "Something is Rotten at PBS." And it's on our website, SinglePayerAction.org.
PBS being public broadcasting system.
Public broadcasting, and the Frontline series, which is usually spectacular. But there's a lot of corporate influence at PBS, we've talked about a lot about the corruption of the media. Mm-hmm. And so T.R. Reid, former reporter for the Washington Post, Frontline says, hey, go around the world and look at five countries that deliver health care for all, and come back and report to us. So he did this spectacular piece a year ago called "Sick Around the World," and he went to Taiwan, Switzerland, Germany, UK, and another country, and Germany. And the bottom line for each of them, they didn't all have
Japan too.
Canada has single payer. UK has government-controlled medicine. The bottom line for all those countries was take the profit out of the health insurance industry.
Right.
So a lot of them required people to buy health insurance, but they were from heavily regulated, not-for-profit insurance companies.
Yeah, Switzerland, for example. I was in Germany a week and a half ago, and I spent part of a day climbing a mountain with a group of people, and one of the guy who was walking right next to me was an American who had lived in Switzerland for 8 years. And he said, the Swiss system is you must buy health insurance from a health insurance company. If you don't, if you're unemployed or you simply choose not to, the government will either deduct from your paycheck if you're employed, or if you are unemployed, they will pay for it. Will provide health insurance from a nonprofit company. But the difference is that the basic insurance, the insurance where you go in to see the doctor and say, I got this pain in my leg and I'm not sure what it is. It might be cancer, it might be a pulled muscle, who knows. That basic insurance, I need a physical. That basic insurance cannot be provided by for-profit companies in Switzerland.
So if you want Botox, breast enlargement, you can buy the insurance for that.
That's right. But or if you want a private bed in a hospital if you're hospitalized.
Right. But just like you said, most countries have made it a crime to make money selling the basic health insurance.
All of these countries. All
these countries have made it a crime, and that was the point that T.R. Reid made in his report. And so after that, Frontline, it was so successful, that show, Frontline said to him, okay, go around the United States and do a show called Sick Around America.
Right.
So he goes around the United States and he tells the horror stories, which we're all familiar with.
Sure.
Middle-class Americans falling through the cracks, facing bankruptcy, facing death. 22,000 Americans die every year because they don't have health insurance, and just a total disaster. Now, for 23 years, I've been writing a weekly publication called Corporate Crime in America, Corporate Crime Report.
Yeah.
And what's the lesson that I learned? That the information really doesn't matter. It's whether we're going to be able to take action to get something done. And so that's why we started this group, because we believe in the death penalty for these companies, which have been declared criminal in all the major Western industrial countries in the world. It's illegal.
And they control our healthcare system.
Right. So he goes around the country, and he does this spectacular piece called Sick Around America. Hands it over to the Frontline producers. They take it back to Boston, where their headquarters are, and they come back. And yes, they reported on these sick people who were facing bankruptcy or facing death because they couldn't get treatment. But their conclusion was that the strong conclusion of this piece of the editors was require people to buy health insurance from the for-profit insurance companies, basically the Obama plan.
Right.
And he says, hey, that's not my point of view. And T.R. Reid's a pretty conservative guy. He's not a single-payer guy. Mm-hmm. But his bottom line is take the profit out of the health insurance industry.
Right.
And he says, I'm not going to put my name on that. So when I saw this piece last week, I said, hey, where's T.R. Reid? He did this. He was promoted as doing this. Where the hell is he? So I tracked him down, got him late at night, and he tells me this incredible story about what happened.
Wow.
And
so it's like the health insurance industry got to PBS?
Well, I don't know, but he was very kind to them. He said, I said, so they got it wrong intentionally. Because that's my view. My view is they took his information, they took his point of view, and they corrupted the conclusion.
Right.
His point of view was, people disagree all the time about it. We had a disagreement. They got it wrong. I don't think they intentionally got it wrong. I think they intentionally got it wrong.
Yeah.
So I wrote this. I think it got a huge reaction in terms of the response that I got, and it showed that there's a fundamental. To me, it showed there's a fundamental corruption in the media, and PBS is just dominated by big corporations.
Yeah, they have been for the better part of 20 years since federal funding got cut back. And, the last time they really busted a company was when ADM got hit with a $300 million price-fixing fine as a result of a PBS investigation. And ever since then, ADM has been one of their big sponsors.
Which is, and a lot of people have turned off to PBS because of that.
Yeah.
Now, here's to me what the problem is. On the majority of doctors want it. 10 years ago, that wasn't the case. Now it's the case. The majority of health economists want it. According to a Zogby poll a year ago, which I was just told about, the majority of small business people now want it.
Sure.
Single payer.
Big businesses, by and large, want it as well. I mean, it's
so why is it being blocked? Well,
because the health insurance industry is making billions.
But amazingly, even the progressive caucus of the House this week came out with a statement saying there's got to be a public plan, but it's got to be on an even playing field with private insurance companies, which Don McCann at PNHP, Physicians for a National Health Program, just put out a thing today saying Well, what's the point of that? That's just like having another PPO administered by the private health insurers.
Right.
So the Democrats in Congress, even the so-called progressive Democrats, are waffling. And so our view is, hey, we don't, and they say that a public plan is the conservatives say the public plan is a back door into single payer. We don't want to go in the back door. We want to go in the front door. So sign up at singlepayeraction.org and donate, and let's get this thing done.
There you go. Singlepayeraction.org. Russell Mokelberg. Russell, thanks for dropping by today.
Thank you, Russell.
Great talking with you. We'll be right back.